Guys you hated to play against because he was so good, but I don't know that anyone could have garnered more respect than Konerko did, and that's true against the Twins and all the other teams as well.
It really is. And you think about Paul Konerko's career, and you think about, I think about two words, clutch and tough. The guy just went out there every day. He was one of the toughest guys I've ever seen. Physically, he was one of the toughest outs that there ever was. And you look at the ranks where he stands among White Sox players all time. Clearly one of the best players ever to put on a Sox uniform. And I just don't remember a home run or a hit or a double that didn't mean something huge against the Twins. I just don't remember just an average base hit.
And the Twins witnessing the retirement of Konerko's number 14 with the utmost of respect.
He was a guy that you never liked facing. You never liked pitching to him, but he always liked playing against him because he respected the game. He respected us, his teammates, all that. He was a role model for I think a lot of young guys on his team, not on his team. For me, I saw the way he carried himself, and it was, like I said, just a guy that he got in the box, and you're thinking, shoot. But it was always a fun at bat. It was fun to compete against him.
He's one of those guys that you like to compete against. He brings it every day. He had an incredible career. The numbers he was able to put up over however how many years it was. And, I just think that being an interdivision rival for a lot of years, our guys have a lot of respect for him. I applaud the White Sox for, taking that big step of putting his number up there. It's going to be a good day, and I'm glad I'm going to have a chance to see it.
A consummate pro. Konerko retired last year. His number retired today. That means he can't pinch hit in today's game. Got an interesting pitching matchup, a rematch of the final game of the month of April when Trevor May outpitched Chris Sale. We'll be back with the first pitch of Game 2 in just a moment. With a 4-game sweep over the Chicago White Sox 3 weeks ago at Target Field. And the series opener in that game was Trevor May making the start against Chris Sale, and Trevor May ended up picking up the win that game.
Pitched very, very well. Chris Sale, really not the normal Chris Sale. We look at what Trevor did last time. He's really been pitching much, much better, throwing all 3 pitches for strikes much, much more often now.
20 outs in his last start, Trevor May's longest start in the big leagues, and I would imagine Chris Sale has been waiting for this game against the Twins ever since April 30th.
As Paul Molitor told us earlier, he's not used to putting up a crooked number very often, and the Twins dropped one on him at Target Field last time. Very uncharacteristic of Chris Sale. On the other hand, there are a lot of Twins hitters that really have swung the bats pretty well against Sale, so it will be a nice matchup today. A bunch of right-hand hitters in the lineup for the Twins, and a very, very motivated Chris Sale on the mound. And here's why he's so tough and why the last start was so uncharacteristic. He's got 3 A-plus big league pitches, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, a great slider, and a changeup. So any and all pitches can get you out. And he doesn't get behind. He'll pound the strike zone with all 3 of them. You've got to be ready at all times. And then he's got that little funky delivery, kind of a little herky-jerky, throws from the side a little bit, changes arm angles. He's a big league pitcher. He's an all-star. He's got nasty stuff. And the Twins know they have their work cut out for him.
Yeah, the Twins swept the White Sox in a 4-game series in Minnesota, but the White Sox have won 3 of the 4 games played here in Chicago. Game 2 of this 3-game series coming up in a moment.
For a reason. A really good place to hit, especially in the summer.
It can be brutal or it can be good.
I'm not the biggest fan of.
It can be a hostile environment sometimes, but it's a good hitter's park, and we always seem to play well down there.
And they've just wrapped up the Paul Konerko number 14 retirement ceremony. A couple things of local interest. He made a point of thanking the Twins organization for their attention and tolerance of this extended ceremony, kind of throwing everybody, home and road team, out of their regular routine. But then a really nice moment, about midway through Konerko's speech, he brought out Joe Vavra, Twins bench coach, who was Konerko's first professional manager when they were both in the Dodger organization. And kind of apropos, I suppose, for Konerko is this is yet another stage of his retirement, the retirement ceremony, to have his first professional manager in the house.
It was a very cool moment, and you know what struck me, and here, take a look at what he calls Joe out. And Paul, he said, he was my first professional manager, and he has never been the same since. It was a very cute line, a very, very nice moment. And speaking of that, you know, you watch Paul Konerko play all those years, you have a sense about him that he's a classy guy, a very professional guy, and the way he conducted himself the people that he thanked, the references he made during his little speech today did nothing but add to that sense that this is one classy professional man.
And it goes back to when he was playing, you know, throughout his career, people spoke of him reverently, like he was the model citizen, the model baseball player. Didn't make any difference if he was hurt, whether he was succeeding or failing. He went about his business on a daily basis, the same every day. And he had a great career just against the Twins with 50 home runs against the Twins, and it seemed like everyone came after the 7th inning.
Everyone seemed like a game winner. That's absolutely true. Just a monster of a hitter. You know what? And I believe when you think about a guy that's got these kind of numbers in his career, you wouldn't think that you call him a grinder. A grinder seems to be a guy that doesn't have that much talent, but Paul Konerko was a grinder. He went out there every day and just to do his job and grind out at bats. The difference between most of us grinders and Paul Konerko, Hall of Fame type numbers.
Very good numbers, and he's a team mobile game changer. Whenever the White Sox needed a big hit, it seemed like Konerko came through. And as the rivalry really became inflamed after the turn of the century, so did the Twins' respect for Konerko. 50 home runs, 136 runs batted in. And as we had a chance before the telecast today to talk about Konerko, you brought up the incident that I don't think
I'll ever forget that.
Carl Pavano hit him in the mouth with a pitch.
Mouth and nose. He went down. He didn't come out of the game. He went to first base, took his base at first base, came up around his next time up and hit the ball out of the ballpark. And one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life.
We'll take a break, and we've got baseball. The Twins have done well after losses, and they lost a tough ball game last night. We'll see if they can respond against one of the toughest left-handers in the game.
Underway of this three-game set between the White Sox and Twins. Last night we saw a highlight reel catch made by the center fielder Aaron Hicks of the Minnesota Twins. It ended the inning, and afterward Torrey Hunter was pretty fired up about that catch.
Man, I was pumped up. I mean, when he made the catch, all I could see is like, hey, that's what I would do. You know, he caught it and rolled and landed on his feet, and I thought that was pretty cool. And so I was very excited. Of course, I get excited for guys making great catches like that. And Hicks is he's been through some trials and tribulations. I definitely think that for him to make these plays and get swing the bat a lot better, I'm happy for him.
Aaron Hicks making Torrey Hunter proud, and he has said throughout his professional career that Torrey Hunter is his hero. Well, now he's his mentor, and he made him very proud with that catch last night. Up next, we've got first pitch between the White Sox and Twins, a special ceremony to honor Paul Konerko, but it's over and it's game time now at US Cellular Field.
your link to what's next by NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here.
They sold out U.S. Cellular Field as the Twins and White Sox will play a game, but the pregame ceremony involving Paul Konerko, who in addition to everything else was asked to throw out the first pitch, and appropriately enough, a strike right down the middle.
He'd have killed that ball if he were hit.
Gordon Beckham, teammate of Konerko's. Of course, this year the White Sox will also honor the 10-year anniversary of their World Championship ball club, and with Konerko retired, just looking at the roster, there are only 2 players who are still active, and A.J. Pierzynski, one of them with the Atlanta Braves, and Mark Burley the other. The White Sox haven't been back to the playoffs since the 2005 season.
Well, they're going to have to bring a whole bunch of guys back. You're right. There are not a whole lot of guys that Paulie recognizes anymore, right. As his teammates.
White Sox did beat the Twins in Game 163 and got into the playoffs in 08. But it's nice to see this ballpark full. It's been an issue here. The White Sox haven't drawn well at all. They've been a disappointment on the field, but a big game for them today, because not only can they exact a little more revenge against the Twins, who frankly humiliated them 3 weeks ago, but they can get back to the 500 mark. And as the Twins have found out, you have to get there before you can spring forward.
Before you take the next step. That's absolutely right. And they've got everything kind of lined up for them. So there were 3 best starting pitchers on the mound for this 3-game series. It was Samardzija with just a great effort last night. They got the best guys sail out there today, and then Quintana tomorrow. So the Twins are going to need to battle here these next 2 days to make something out of this road trip.
Teams were told that the first pitch would be around 3:25. We are now 10 minutes past that. I think everyone understood this was kind of a soft start time that it could move one way or the other, probably the one way, and that these things tend to run a little long, and I think everybody understands that.
I think everybody does. And, you know, as a player, you watch a guy like Paul Konerko, who you respect so much. You played against, competed against. Paul Molitor said it very well. As we look at Trevor May, that as a player manager, that'd be the guy I'd worry about. And in the same way on the other side, Robin Ventura worrying about Chris Sale a little bit, because their routines are the ones they had to try to manage as they got warmed up in the bullpen. I'd be a little bit more concerned about the pitchers in the game. Players just want to pay their great amount of respect to Paul Konerko. They're loose. They're ready to go. And waiting another 10 or 15 minutes is really not that big a deal, especially with all the stuff they've got in ballparks today with batting cages and places to loosen up underneath the ballpark right here by the clubhouse.
Well, the White Sox started playing better baseball after they were swept by the Twins in that 4-game series. And then they had a 6-game winning streak, but then they lost the last 3 games of a series here earlier in the week against the Indians. And they came back and they beat the Twins 3-2 last night. So they'd like to think that they can recover from a disappointing first 5 weeks or so and become a factor in the American League Central.
And I think they still will do that with the 3 starting pitchers that I just mentioned that the Twins are going to see this weekend, with David Robertson, the just lights out closer that they have now to finish off games, and Jose Abreu, Melky Cabrera, Alexi Ramirez. They've put together a pretty nice club, and it hasn't shown nearly as much in the start that they got off to so far. But I think 162-game season is a great equalizer, and there will be some White Sox runs, meaning runs of winning games and having good records several times during the course of the season, and they'll be a factor.
Kansas City Royals have the best record in Major League Baseball. The second best record goes to the St. Louis Cardinals. So the fans in Missouri being treated to some awfully good baseball these days. Those 2 teams playing each other this weekend. The Twins are hoping to bounce back after a loss, something they've done very well since the first week of the season. The Twins have lost some games, of course, but they're 9-2 after a loss after that awful first week of the season.
Yeah, they've really played very, very well. And And they really have their work cut out for them tonight to bounce back against one of the best pitchers in the game after being subjected to one of the best pitch ball games that they've seen in a long time from Jeff Samardzija last night. First inning, little trouble getting going. The Twins scored 2 runs, but after that, he was lights out, throwing the ball exactly where he wanted to. Pitch after pitch, he just kept hitting the catcher's glove. He was dominating.
Twins have done a good job on this road trip scoring early. They've done a very poor job scoring in the middle innings or the late innings. And the last time they faced Chris Sale, they delivered a knockout punch early against the nasty left-hander.
And they're going to need to do that today. And just like Samardzija last night, we talked about how really good pitchers with good stuff generally take an inning or 2 or 3 to get going. They need to do that against Chris Sale. Not only because that's the way it is with good pitchers, but also those shadows are going to start creeping. As Torrey Hunter said to me, by the 4th inning, we're not going to be able to see anything anyway.
This is Menard's batting order. Brian Dozier, Shane Robinson, Trevor Plouffe. It's an all right-handed hitting starting lineup for the Twins today. Torrey Hunter, Kurt Suzuki, Eduardo Escobar, Eduardo Nunez, Aaron Hicks, and Danny Santana.
They'll dig in there, do their best against Chris Sale. They had a real good ball game against him at Target Field a week or so ago, a week or 10 days ago. But you look at those numbers, really pretty good, and he hasn't even gotten himself totally on track yet. I look for another big year from Chris Sale.
Northland Ford defense for the White Sox. Melky Cabrera in left field. Adam Eaton in center. J.B. Shutt, the surprise starter and star in the game last night. Gillespie, Ramirez, Sanchez, Abreu, the infielders. Tyler Flowers doing the catching. J.B. Shutt in the lineup again today with Avisail Garcia still out with a knee issue. Brian Dozier, Shane Robinson, Trevor Plouffe to face Chris Sale. Dozier goes off after that first pitch fastball and fouls it to the screen.
At 96 miles an hour, and that's what we talked about with this guy. Throws 95, 96, can touch 97. Got a sharp breaking slider and a changeup, and he'll throw a wall anytime.
The miss, 0-2 at 97.
On the outside corner. That's the thing about Sale, as we talked about in the opening show. It's not just the fact that he's got 3 great pitches. A lot of guys have 3 great pitches. He can throw them all over and throw them on corners.
1-2. 75 degrees, game time temperature. Wind blowing in from left field. Dozier had a big 3-run home run against Sale at Target Field, and now 2-2. Twins scored 9 runs against Sale, a career high in runs allowed on April 30th. A blast down the left field line, but a foul ball. The thumping that the Twins handed Sale and the White Sox was game 1 of the 4-game series, and the Twins won a close ball game 1-0, 5-3, then another thumping 13-3. 2-2 to Dozier. Got him. That's ball away. 1 down.
And right on the corner, you know, with a guy like Chris Sale, you just get on the fastball early and hit it when you get it, because at some point in time, you get to 2 strikes, you're going to get something like that. That's just an unhittable pitch. Brian with a little bit of a grin there. Just there's nothing you can do. You put your bat in the bat rack and say, I'm going to get you next time.
Here's Shane Robinson. Popped up, back, and out of play. I asked Paul Molitor about the challenge in facing Sale and contrasting it to the challenge of facing Francisco Liriano, whom the Twins handled very well in the opening game of this road trip. And in a nutshell, what he said was that Sale has a little bit better stuff than Liriano has, but much better command of what he has out there. He doesn't fall behind hitters as often. He doesn't have a tendency to walk hitters as often. 1-2.
Well, that's the whole deal with Sale, and when he said he has better command, what that means is you can't just go up looking for the ball in one spot and taking other pitches like they did against Liriano in Pittsburgh.
Tight swing and a miss, 2 down.
Against Liriano, for example, you know he's got that big strikeout slider, but if you lay off everything inside and look for the ball out over the plate, you make him throw a lot of balls and get a good pitch to hit. With Sale, he's coming right at you, and you can't take one side of the plate or the other. He can throw strikes on both sides of the plate with 3 different pitches. So you don't have that luxury. He's got great command. You can't say, if I take this pitch or that pitch, I'm going to get something better to hit.
Trevor Plouffe with 2 gone, and he takes outside, ball 1. Twins have some hitters with pretty good stats against Sale, like Plouffe, hitting .296 with a home run. Hard ground ball hit right at Gillespie. And it's a 1-2-3 first inning for Chris Sale. At Target Field, the Twins got a run in the first, 1 in the second, and 7 in the third inning. Hard batting order for Robin Ventura. Game 2, Adam Eaton, followed by Melky Cabrera, Jose Abreu, Adam LaRoche, Connor Gillespie, Alexei Ramirez, J.B. Shuck, Tyler Flowers, and Carlos Sanchez.
Trevor May on the mound for the Twins as we look at his numbers. So much better this year in terms of command of the strike zone. By that I mean he's not walking as many people. He's not falling behind as many people. He's throwing 3 pitches for strikes more often. His next step in his development will be command in the strike zone. And by that I mean, can I throw the ball where I want to throw it? Not just a strike down the middle, but if I want to throw it outside, can I throw it there? If I want to throw it inside, can I throw it there? So that's for every young pitcher. First of all, they have to command the strike zone with the pitches. Then they have to get command inside the strike zone. Throw it where you want it at the right times.
Eaton bunts foul, 2 strikes. Tremendous strides forward for May from the pitcher we saw early in 2014 when he was called up. He's only walked 8 men. I think of Phil Hughes.
That one get his first game last year.
2 strikes to Eaton. We think of Phil Hughes as having great control, and he has great control. He's only issued 6 walks, so May doing a much better job not issuing free passes.
And that pitch right there is what I'm talking about, command in the strike zone. 0-2 through a fastball right down the middle. That's not what you want to do. You want to throw more like that. Make your head 0-2. Make the hitter chase something for a pitch or two. See if he can get himself out weakly.
Breaking ball gets a swinging strike 3, and now Melky Cabrera will bat. Twins out in the field. We'll show it to you momentarily. Shane Robinson added into the lineup to give a fly ball pitcher more speed in the outfield. And now Melky Cabrera takes a strike on the outside corner. Cabrera with a relatively slow start to his season. He's doing okay from this side of the plate, really struggling from the other side of the plate. 1-1.
Really a horrendous differential in his left-hand and right-hand stats. Just can't get anything going right-handed at all.
2-1.
Which always interests me as a switch hitter. Sometimes it's frustrating. You can be two totally different hitters.
3-0 against the White Sox in 3 prior starts, but now the count to Cabrera 3-1. May trying to keep his record against Chicago perfect here today. Right center and deep. Hicks going back and glides onto the warning track to make the catch. I think the Twins have seen very good range in center field from Aaron Hicks. We've made that catch to the gap in right center about a half dozen times since his call-up. Here's the Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Yeah, some speed in left with Robinson, speed in center with Hicks, and sure, speed in right with Torrey Hunter.
Plenty enough.
39-year-old, you bet. Escobar, Santana, Dozier, Plouffe, the infielders, and Suzuki back behind the plate. Hicks making a great catch. Coming in and going to his right. There's Abreu taking strike 1.
That was some kind of good catch. You're right. Last night. As tough a catch as a center fielder will have if he's not running into a wall somewhere.
High fastball, 1-1. May can reach 95, where Sale just kind of sits there. Every once in a while, May can reach back as he just did and throw it in there at 95 miles per hour. 94, foul back, 1-2.
But Trevor's consistently 92 to that 95 limit that you talk about, and that's plenty enough fastball for a major league pitcher if you've got command of the breaking, the curveball and changeup that he has. And when he's throwing those over in different counts, it looks like a curveball here, and in a really good spot.
Couple of strikeouts for each starting pitcher, and each enjoys a 1-2-3 first inning.
Field. So many great moments of Konerko's career came against the Minnesota Twins, and I asked Joe Mauer what he remembers about the Sox captain.
He's a grinder. He was out there every day. He played the game the right way. He wasn't a flashy guy or anything like that, but he got the job done. And you admire players like that go about their business, play the game hard, and go out there every day. So he had a great career, and you enjoy competing against guys like that.
That great career exemplified by the fact the entire Twins team, guys, was out here for the entire ceremony. That's how much he is a legend in this game.
Deep to the left field corner and nearly caught by Cabrera, nearly inside the foul pole for a home run, just a strike, and it's 1-1. See Cabrera almost reaching into the crowd, almost pulling off an Alec Gordon. 1-1. This one drilled to left. This one will stay fair and leave in a hurry. Torrey Hunter hits his 7th home run of the year, and the Twins strike early again against Chris Sale.
Well, Torrey told me he was going to have to get him early because after an hour or so, this 3 o'clock start, you weren't going to be able to see the ball up there at the plate because of the shadows. Torrey took his own advice to heart. He told me he wasn't thinking home run. He wanted to stay short and quick to the ball. Well, if you're short and quick to the ball, a lot of times it goes out of the yard. What a beautiful swing that is.
And you could see Cabrera, who ran to the corner trying to catch his foul fly a moment before, just turned and watched it sail over the bullpen. Inside to Suzuki, ball 1. Suzuki batting 5th, and Escobar will follow. This one hit high and deep to left center field. Eaton to the warning track, makes the catch. Suzuki gave it a ride into the wind, and Eaton was able to track it down one away. Torrey hit a home run on a line, that more of a fly ball, and the wind may have kept it in the ballpark.
I think the wind definitely kept it in the ballpark, and he hit it to a deep part of the ballpark here as well. Another nice swing, a short, compact swing by Kurt Suzuki. Just hit it 50 feet too far toward center field.
A strike to Eduardo Escobar. Strike 2. A couple of well hit balls, and now Sale comes back with the breaking ball. Fouled back.
There's nobody, no pitcher in the game that can have the kind of success that Chris Sale had and get by with one pitch. Big league hitters are too good. They will figure out one pitch.
Strike 3. And Escobar walks back to the dugout. 2 down. Cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. And on this road trip, the Twins have done very well scoring runs in the first 3 innings, and then they've hit a dry spell. The only run they've scored after the 3rd inning on this road trip was Mauer's 13th inning home run. From the 4th inning through the 9th inning in the 3 games on this road trip, the Twins are 4 for 57, and the 4 hits have all been singles. Nunez with a foul back. Nunez drives it on a line to left center field, and that's gone. Eduardo Nunez with a home run. And there must be a lot of Twins fans out there. The whole section stood up to applaud. And the Twins take a 2-0 lead.
3 really good swings in a row. None of the first 2 any better than that one by Edwin Nunez. Again, ball up and in the middle of the plate. Drops the big end of the bat right to the ball. This young man can hit. He really can. Nice offensive player. Provides a lot of spark off the bench for Paul Molitor. And he never, ever gets cheated. They're clapping that guy made a nice catch over his head. They don't care about the Twins here.
Here's Aaron Hicks. An off-speed pitch over for a called strike.
You know, when a guy, it's interesting, when a guy has 3 great pitches like Chris Sale does, and his best one, at least in most hitters' minds, is fastball because he throws it so hard. You make it much more simple for yourself at the plate. You said, look, the first fastball in the middle of the plate I get, I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna hit it because I don't want to get to that one. That slider down and in. I don't want to have to hit a changeup on the black. So I'm just looking fastball. I'm going to stay short to the ball and just get the big end of the bat on the first fastball strike I see. And 2 of those have ended up being in the seats.
Speed pitch, and Hicks waves at it. Thought he'd get a fastball on 2-0. They got the changeup instead.
Well, they're turning around fastballs. Tyler Flowers and Chris Sale think better not throw fastballs and fastball counts here.
3-1. Santana on deck. Excuse me. The count 3-2. Another off-speed pitch. A strikeout ends the inning, but the Twins crush the ball 3 times, and twice the ball goes out. A couple of solo home runs, 1 for Hunter, 1 for Nunez. Solo home runs, and the Twins, as they did last night, have an early 2-0 lead. And it'll be Adam LaRoche, Connor Gillespie, and Alexei Ramirez facing Trevor May in the 2nd inning. Twins with a pull shift on for LaRoche. And May with a fastball and strike 1. One and one. Mays delivered 4 first pitch strikes, and all 4 have been looking. Breaking ball hit high and deep to right center field. Hicks will go to the wall, and it's off the wall. Hicks collides with the wall, and Hunter fires it into second base. And Hicks is up and apparently okay. He almost made another great catch in the gap.
Aaron Hicks had to go a long way for this ball. LaRoche hits it a long way up in the air, high enough so Aaron couldn't get to it. But it was off the wall, and he just couldn't quite time his leap to get up at the ball before it hit the wall.
So it's a leadoff double for LaRoche. Hicks caught one off the bat of Cabrera, a little bit shorter than that drive. That too, a ball that might have gone if not for the wind coming in from left center field. Here's Gillespie. On the ground. Dozier to Plouffe. And LaRoche goes to third. Take another look at how close Aaron Hicks came to making another highlight reel catch.
Well, he's got a lot of speed. He has a really nice loping style, which gets him to the ball well, and he just couldn't quite get to that ball. Very close to being a home run. He just couldn't quite get there to get his leap up high enough on the wall there. Looked like he banged himself pretty well. Looks like maybe one of his forearms or something got drilled against the fence there.
Of course, playing the infield back with a 2-run lead. Ramirez at the plate. And he goes after the first pitch. So the first 4 batters took strike 1, and now the White Sox switch over into attack mode.
Well, Gillespie did a nice job. Runner at second, nobody out. He's just looking to hit the ball on the right side. Hopefully it goes through for a hit for him, but at the very least do his job and get the guy over to third, which he did. This guy, Ramirez, is a first ball fastball hitting machine. He's not going to take any fastball that's anywhere close to being a strike.
1-1.
I really think that there's a way to pitch Ramirez. You just pound him hard inside, make him think he's going to get it there, and then throw him breaking balls and soft stuff, some fastballs away.
Up the middle, a base hit. It's 2-1.
If you don't make him quick on inside pitches, you got to get him in a hurry, because he will. He wants to play the ball if he can. And when he's comfortable like that, you're not coming inside. That ball out over the plate is just a real cookie for him.
Quickly from the White Sox after the 2 home runs. It's 2-1, and now J.B. Shuck. Shuck wasn't supposed to play last night. He got a couple of hits and drove in the eventual game-winning run on a fly ball to center field. There goes Ramirez on the first pitch. Suzuki's throw in time to get him. Twins catchers, mainly Suzuki, because he catches 6 out of 7 games, it seemed, doing a much better job, and the pitchers also doing a better job keeping the runners close.
And the pitchers that you mentioned is really, really the biggest thing. Kurt's got a good release, a good throw. Nice tag there by Danny. Watch this tag right down to the base where the runner's coming. And gets him right there. But a real good throw by Kurt, and a better job of Twins pitchers, as you say.
Suzuki will come back to look at this pop-up. It's strike 2. Teams had stolen 4 bases in 4 tries against May. So that's the first throw out while he's been on the mound. Two strikes to J.B. Shuck. One and 2. Up in the 3rd inning, we're going to have a very special guest and a guy who's got a very special place in Twins history. Jim Thomey's going to be with us, part of the pregame ceremony with Paul Konerko's number 14 retirement. Strikeout of Shuck ends the inning. White Sox get one back on a leadoff double. And an RBI single from Alexei Ramirez. And Jim Thomey will be our guest when we come back. Boy, what an impact he had. 37 home runs in 179 games with the Twins. Some tape measure shots at target field. He's the only guy to have cleared the batter's eye twice at target field, and that's still the most dramatic home run in target field history. Not that one, the one that we showed in the night game footage. He hit the top of the flagpole in right field. Here's a little chopper in front of the third baseman, Gillespie, who throws wildly. Santana has to scamper back to the bag. He didn't feel like he'd be able to gain second base, and he will reach first base. And I don't know if Santana got hit by that throw or not, but he is at first. Good to have Jim Thome back on Twins television.
Yeah.
Good to see him.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Great to have you here.
Hey, you were a part of the Twins organization, but we want to talk specifically about today, and you were here to honor your friend and former teammate Paul Konerko, who I think universally had the respect of everybody in baseball.
Well, I agree. Paulie was one of those guys, not only a teammate, he was a friend. He was a guy ultimately that I think everyone looked up to. And, along with it, he was a pretty good player.
Yes,
so,
he was.
It was a lot of fun being not only his teammate, but now his friend.
I want to congratulate you, Jim, on your part in this and what you said. The remarks you made about Paul were heartfelt and thoughtful, and I think it captured for all of us who have kind of a glimpse of Paul Konerko from afar. And you said exactly what it looked like he was, and talking about and there's a fair ball double down the left field line, or what looks like it's going to be a double, an easy double for Brian Dozier, and the Twins have come out swinging their bats well against Chris Sale again. But
yes, they are.
Anyway, I just wanted that what you said was as I said, so thoughtful and heartfelt, and it made us all feel good, because that's the way we wanted to feel about Paulie.
Well, it describes him to a T. He's very humble. He's probably the most humble superstar that I've been around. It's not about him.
You're self-accepting.
Well, and I would say him and Mao, Joe is the same way. You meet guys. Paulie had a great way about himself, and he put the team first all the time, which ultimately I think the respect we gave him as well from that, he earned it.
Now let's turn this around to the Twins, and you were nice to acknowledge the Twins and some of the leaders you played with over in the Twins dugout. Fact remains, there are just 4 guys over there. That's how quickly the roster's turned over. Joe Mauer, Trevor Plouffe, Brian Dunsing, Glenn Perkins. There's a little dribbler to third. A run will score, and Robinson is thrown out.
And excuse me, Dick, a great job of base running by Brian Dozier right there, getting to third with 1 out. Love to see Shane Robinson hit the ball behind the runner there to get 1 in and 1 over, and that ball was not hit behind Doge, but he jumped out, got a real good jump on him, hit slow enough that he took the gamble and got himself over to third base with only 1 out. So now the Twins could get 2 runs without getting hit, Jim.
Well, that's typical Twins baseball, yes.
Reminded me of the way you used to run the bases out there.
Well, I had to work hard to get there. So
What forced the White Sox to bring the infield in here for the Trevor Plouffe at bat. I've told many people this, Jim, and I'm convinced that there hasn't been a Twin who played for the Twins as short as your tenure was with them, who had more impact on the organization. And I know the fans feel that way too. Did you sense that from the Twins fans, that you were appreciated to the level that you were?
No question. From day one, when we moved into the target field, you could sense the electricity, the excitement. And I think it's like any other organization. If you give your heart and you're honest, and you give everything you got, I think the fans appreciate it. And I know as players, we certainly kind of feel that vibe and feed off of that. And they, the Twins fans have been that way for a long time. You can tell they love their players, and they're very loyal in that regard.
And the other thing they love is we watched the replay of Trevor Plouffe hitting a real good pitch from Chris Sale in the left center to drive in yet another run. Good at bats being thrown together here by the Twins lineup. But the other thing the Twins fans appreciate is just great players and great hitters. You're a Hall of Famer. You hurt the Twins so many times over the course of your great career.
Foul over the Twins.
there was some history there in the past.
Yeah,
yes, I agree.
So then when you came over there, they couldn't wait to love you.
Yes.
You know, on their side, and you came over, and as Dick said, very short period of time, but provided them everything that they were hoping they'd get from you on their team, just like you beat them so many times.
Yeah, they were. It was a joy, you know, looking back to my couple years there. We absolutely loved living there. It was such a wonderful place to play. I mean, it was close to home. You know, after my first year, you know, I became a free agent again, and to go back there for the second time really was very special. And then to hit my 600th homer, you know, with them is just, you know, it's memories you never forget.
Beyond the 600th home run, which you hit moments after hitting 599 in Detroit, what other moment or moments stand out? With the one against Matt Thornton, the one that turned the loss into a win?
You know, I would say that, and just what ultimately I remember about playing there is that we all were brothers. That whole clubhouse, from the Puntos to Maurer to Morneau to Joe Nathan to, I mean, on down the line, Dunsing, Perkins, we all pulled from the same rope, they call it. And we were genuinely, like Kadire, can't forget Michael, he was in that group. And we just all, I think, pulled from the same rope. We cared about each other. And when we went to the playoffs in 2010, and the Yankees beat us in 2010, you know, that was going to the postseason with the Twins was a special moment. Now, the home runs obviously are great, and all, you know, the flagpole, the two over the center field backdrop, but just playing in Minnesota with those guys was so great.
Pretty good play here by J.B. Shuck, who barehanded the first hop and fired to second in time to get Trevor Plouffe, who was kind of hung out in no man's land.
Yeah,
Hunter doesn't get a hit as a result of that. He'll reach instead on a fielder's choice. He'll bring up Kurt Suzuki.
Trevor absolutely in no man's land, and it took a really terrific play by Shuck to get him. As you say, Dick, barehanded through in one motion and a one-hop strike. That's the only way they would have got it. Very nice play.
Twins have added a couple here in the third inning. Dick Bramer, Roy Smalley, joined by future Hall of Famer Jim Thome, who was part of the on-field ceremony honoring his former teammate and the captain of the White Sox, Paul Konerko. 2-0 to Kurt Suzuki. What's keeping you busy with the White Sox these days?
Well, I'm doing a little bit of traveling, going through the minor leagues. When the Sox are home, I come here. We go up in the box and sit around and talk ball and, you know, break down things to where we want to get better as an organization.
That hits Suzuki, so Hunter will go to second base.
I am blessed to be around a great group of people that care about winning and want to win.
Look at this right here. This when you're with the White Sox. You remember this one? 464 feet way back over those hedges. That was a bomb.
That was special, yes.
And you know which one I remember? That's it. And here they show you unveiling your plaque there.
Yeah.
That great follow through. That's the iconic, classic Thome follow through. That's just awesome. Really fun. You know what home run I remember, and it beat the Twins is game 163.
Blackburn
against Nick Blackburn. Both Blackburn and your pitcher
Danks. Johnny Danks.
Yes. Pitched fabulous games, and you supplied the only run that got you guys into the playoffs and ultimately the World Series championship. What a great home run that was. And I say that as a Twins fan, but what a ball game, and to have you hit the home run to win it, that's pretty cool.
Well, and another big play in that game is I think when Kadire threw out Griffey.
Griffey threw out Kadire.
Or, I mean,
yes.
And that was special. There were so many good defensive plays and, you know, great pitched game. And then the blackout, I think, is what everybody remembers here because everybody was wearing black.
Great to see you, my friend.
Fellas, thank you.
And we'll look forward to seeing your day in Cooperstown here in a few years.
Always a pleasure seeing you.
All right. Jim Thome, our guest, with the Twins adding 2 more runs in the third.
TireSoup.com trivia question. Who are the 5 White Sox players with over 2,000 career hits? Well, we'll put Konerko on the list.
Who are the other 4?
You know, one of the reasons I think that this was special, even for guys who aren't White Sox fans, we come in from the other side. We represent the Twins, and the reason the Twins dugout was filled at the top step on the railing watching the ceremony. How rare is it now when a guy plays 15 years with one team? There's a pop-up down the right field line. Torrey Hunter across the line has no play. Konerko a little bit with the Dodgers, a little bit with the Reds, and then, you know, established roots here and played to the end of his career. 15 years in one organization is a long time.
It is. It doesn't happen very often, and no surprise why the city of Chicago, especially the South Side here, feels like he's their son, their favorite son, no question.
2 strikes to Tyler Flowers. He landed about 5 feet in front of the plate. 1 and 2. Flowers, Sanchez, and Eaton, with May now given a 3-run lead. Gave up a leadoff double. Hicks nearly made a catch to start the 2nd inning.
Need a shutdown inning right here. This is an important inning.
All right, fastball, a strikeout, 1 down. Bring up Carlos Sanchez.
Here's a nice 2-strike pitch up and in after being down most of the at-bat.
You're running out of time to take advantage of the Weekend Warrior package this year. You can get all Friday, all Saturday, or all Sunday home games. You can become a Weekend Warrior and a Twins season ticket holder today and get your ticket to summer. Last day to purchase is May 27th, just a few days from now. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com/Weekend Warrior. May hits the number 9 batter on the first pitch, Carlos Sanchez. There's 1 on with 1 out.
And I think it got Kurt Suzuki a little turnabout from Pittsburgh. You remember in Pittsburgh when the ball glanced off Kurt Suzuki when he was hitting and hit Cervelli. I think Kurt got a little shot there after the ball hit Sanchez.
Eaton struck out in his first at bat. Goes the bat over the Twins dugout. 1 strike. I hope everybody's okay back there.
That ball, that was fired into the stands.
Putting a little pine tar on a different bat. He's encouraged by the ovation that everybody is okay. You ever have anything like that happen? There's a young lady who ended up with the bat, I guess. Strike and a throw to first. Did you ever have, whether it be a foul ball, a thrown bat, or a broken bat that went into the crowd? That, from the perspective of a player, you have to be concerned for the welfare of the fans.
I never ever threw a bat in the stands, but you always are concerned when balls and bats fly in there. Especially when you hit one in there, you slash a line drive in the stands at all. It scared me to death. I really didn't like it.
He's had a couple pitches get away from him. That's a heck of a save by Suzuki here. The last 3 pitches have seen a hit batter, a thrown bat, and one nearly thrown on the fly to the backstop. Breaking ball down the line, a base hit. Sanchez around second, on his way to third. It goes to the deep corner, and Sanchez is going to score on a triple by Eaton, and it's 4-2. Again, the White Sox answer after the Twins score 2 in the top of the inning. Already won the quick run here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Curveball up in the zone here to a guy that generally likes to slap the ball up the middle and the other way, hit fastballs that way. So a curveball up there is really not going to fool him too much. And Eaton stays with it, drills it down the right field line. Sanchez scores easily.
Eaton's 4th run batted in this year, and now a pitch foul to the screen, 1 strike. May had a 1-2-3 first inning, gave up a leadoff double that led to a run in the second. Now a 1-out triple after a hit batter, and it's 4-2. High. On the ground, it'll score another run. 2 down, 4-3. He comes in from third base. And the bases are empty with 2 gone for Abreu. The field almost completely embracing the sunshine, but now the shadows starting to creep onto the field from the first baseline. Abreu went down swinging on a curveball his first time up. And a curveball this time gets a weak pop-up towards Santana. Each team with a 2 spot in the 3rd inning, and the Twins have a 4-3 lead. See if they can keep scoring through the middle innings and into the late innings. Mauer not in the lineup today. Eduardo Nunez will lead things off for the Twins in the 4th. Facing Chris Sale, the Twins have 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 of the runs unearned, and Nunez spins the first pitch over the screen, strike 1. On this road trip, from this point forward through the 9th inning, Twins are just 4 for 57 with no run score. Fastball up, 1-1.
I think right now both teams are in a real big hurry to score runs before the shadow gets across the pitcher's mound here.
Chopped up the middle for Ramirez. 1 down.
Really good swings from Torrey Hunter and Edwin Nunez among some others. Watch Torrey's front arm go down and the right arm extend. That's how you go directly to the ball. Get the big end directly to the ball. Edwin Nunez does the same exact thing for a home run. Watch his front left arm go down and his back top arm straighten out, extend. Eduardo Nunez with a bullet into the seats.
1 strike to Aaron Hicks, who struck out his first time up. That's a line foul. One of the sweets here. 2 strikes. hitting .242. Hitless last night, but hit the ball hard once. Had a great catch out in center field. Popped up and
Hawk did it
into the PA booth, I believe.
Looked like it was going to get into Hawk Harrelson's booth next to us.
2 strikes. And Hicks takes a called third strike, 2 down. Tonight, Fox Sports Live will get you caught up on a full night of NHL and NBA playoff action, plus highlights on tonight's MLB games. You can see Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1 or see it simulcast right here on Fox Sports North. 2 down, and Danny Santana will hit. Santana reached on an error to start the 3rd inning, and by inning's end, the Twins had a couple more runs. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Shadows now across home plate. When does it become the toughest for a hitter?
As soon as the shadow gets, as soon as the batter's box is in total shadow and the pitcher's in the sun, pitchers and the pitcher and the backdrop behind the pitcher, the batter's eye. But as soon as that shadow gets all the way across the plate, so you're looking at the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand in bright sunlight and then coming into the shadow, that's tough. And then also, I always thought it was tough when the shadow got both the pitcher and me in the batter's box in shadow, but the backdrop that I'm looking was brightly lit behind the pitcher.
Santana chases a high fastball, and Sale has a 1-2-3 4th inning. Twins trying to win for the 2nd time here in Chicago against the White Sox, having won all 4 games in Minnesota. And Adam LaRoche will lead things off for the White Sox in the bottom of the 4th inning against Trevor May. LaRoche hit one to right center field. It looked like it was going to be a home run, and then it looked like Hicks might be able to catch it. Neither happened. It went for a leadoff double, and LaRoche came in on a Ramirez single for the first Chicago run. Rolled foul, 2 strikes. This shadow thing should work to the benefit of both pitchers, I would think, right?
Yes, definitely. And it's almost to the point now where it's going to be very, very tough to see. You see the shadow just over home plate, so the ball's coming out of the light into the shadow, but it's not so far out yet that you pick up the ball before it gets there to the shadow right now. LaRoche strikes out. A nice changeup by Trevor May.
1 down here in the 4th, and that'll bring up Connor Gillespie.
Good changeup at moving away from him.
Gillespie with a bouncer to second. Hit the ground ball on the first pitch he saw from May. That advanced LaRoche from second to third. Ball one.
When that shadow gets about halfway to the pitcher's mound, the pitcher in the sunlight, and the ball comes out of his hand and goes right away into the shadow. That's when it's tough. You see it.
That's to Plouffe, an easy play for out number 2.
You see it right now. Where the shadow is right now, you still get a pretty good view of the ball. The ball will come into the hitting zone in the shadow, but you get a pretty good view of the ball coming up there to you as a hitter right now. But it moves out another 10, 15 feet, and it's gonna get hard to see.
Alexei Ramirez will hit 14 plate appearances, and Mays delivered strike one on the first pitch in 12 of them. Squibbed back to May. He has a very quick 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. Only 6 pitches. And we head to the 5th with the Twins up a run. A lot of Twins fans here wearing caps, t-shirts, sweatshirts, whatever. Great destination, and our Pepsi fans of the game today in attendance here. You know, you got 3 games in Chicago. It's a holiday weekend. Twins playing good baseball.
Why wouldn't you come here and watch?
Inside corner to Brian Dozier. Dozier struck out in the first, then doubled in the third. Popped up, backing out of play, 2 strikes. The Twins are 13-5 against left-handed starting pitchers this year. They are hitting as a team 290 against left-handers, 234 against right-handers. And they have faced some of the toughest left-handed starting pitchers in either league. This is the 3rd time they faced Chris Sale. They faced David Price twice. Liriano was pitching very well until he faced the Twins. Dozier strikes out, 1 away. But then there's the contrast for the White Sox. Now the Twins don't have a left-handed starter. They might bring Tommy Malone back at some point. He made a couple of starts for the Twins, 3 of them. You can see the pitch near the outside corner and a swing and a miss. The White Sox are only 2-4 against left-handed starters. They've only faced 6 left-handed starters this year, while the Twins have today faced their 19th left-handed starter.
That's a lot. Of course, the White Sox have 2 left-handers in their rotation. 3 actually. Forgot about Danks. I was thinking about Sunday starter Quintana. There's 3 guys they don't have to see.
Rodon was in the rotation. He's out of the rotation now. 1-1 to Shane Robinson. That's poked down the right field line, and it'll be a base hit. and Robinson's aboard with a 1-out single. We might see the Twins try to do some running, in part because of the hitting conditions, but also, the Twins, I think, as we get into the second 40-game stretch, would like to do a little more base stealing.
Shane Robinson fighting off a really tough pitch down and away, going with it, taking it into right field. That's a nice at bat by Shane.
Robinson with 3 steals and 4 tries. Big leg kick and a strike in the outside corner. Strike 2. Trevor Plouffe. A little dance in the batter's box. 0-2.
So far, it doesn't look like Shane Robinson's going anywhere at first base. He's been going back to first on Sale's move to the plate.
Robinson came to the Twins with just 7 major league steals in 9 tries. So even in limited duty, the Twins have given him some freedom to run. Bouncer to short, and might be a double play. 6-4-3. Robinson and Plouffe retired on 1 pitch. And it's still 4-3 Twins.
Twins fans, don't forget at Twins home games, bring your Circle Me signs, and if you get circled, you may find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle, where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
Hunter May with an off-speed pitch, bending over for strike 1 to J.B. Shuck. He'll face the bottom third. May will in the Chicago batting order. Shuck, Flowers, and Sanchez. There's a dribbler up the line. May bare hands, throws, got him. And Plouffe with a quick snatch of the ball and showing first base umpire Adam Hamari that he caught the ball.
Very nice play on both ends. Bare hand and throw in one motion by Trevor May. And then a nice grab right against the runner by Trevor Plouffe. Shuck hits over the top of this one here. Trevor May gets it quickly. Now watch. All in one motion. Throw it. And a nice grab by Trevor.
Shuck delayed at first base, wondering if the White Sox were going to appeal, but the White Sox saw what we saw, that he was retired, one down. Shuck last night hit a similar ball, and it turned into one of the big at-bats of the ball game. A little number between the mound and first base. Twins didn't play it well, and before you knew it, the White Sox had a couple of runs. Here's Tyler Flowers. Strike one, now strike two.
And now you see the shadows. It's officially hard to see up there at the plate. It's ball coming out of you see it out of his hand and comes into shadow. Hard to see the spin.
Dozier backhands, fires on the run, and the throw up the line. Flowers will get an infield hit. So an infield hit after a good play denying an infield hit. You can follow Twins baseball all season in 2015 with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat, up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more at MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. Carlos Sanchez was hit by the first pitch of his third inning plate appearance. A weird swing and a weirder foul ball. One strike.
Well, there's an example of not being able to see the ball real well. That's a changeup. He swung at it like it was a fastball because in the sunlight it looked like a fastball. You don't really see that changeup until it gets about to where the shadow is, and then you can't see the difference. You hit it right off the end of the bat.
Check swing, strike two.
You know what I'm saying? If the shadow weren't there, you'd pick up the changeup about where the shadow starts right now.
I would think any breaking ball would the recognition by the batter of the pitch would be at about the same point, wouldn't it?
Correct. The difference is it comes like Trevor's breaking ball will come out of his hand a little higher.
Strike out, two away.
Another changeup, and Sanchez never really saw the ball at all.
Eaton, the batter, pulled a triple into the right field corner.
So you can see right here, he's swinging at the first thing he sees in the sunlight, and can't really tell the speed or the spin on the ball by the time it gets into the shade.
Inside, ball. Driving in a run with his triple, he later scored on a ground ball. Flowers goes, and the pitch hit beyond a reaching Escobar, and Flowers, who was off with the pitch, will stop at second base. And the White Sox have the tying run at second with two down.
Eaton hitting the ball almost right out of the catcher's glove and slapping the ball to left. I was having a hard time having anything to say about that, picking my jaw up off my chest that Flowers had taken off with two out.
There's Cabrera tying run at second, two away. Cabrera with a fly ball to center and a ground ball to Dozier. Dribbler. A lot of weak contact in the inning, and a scoreless fifth. The Twins take a 4-3 lead into the sixth.
Hunter, what it's like facing those two guys back to back.
To have those guys back to back, it's no break. It's a fight. It feels like I'm in a heavyweight fight right now, and you know, sometimes you just can't sleep at night, you know, after facing Samardzija, then knowing you got to face Sale. So all you can do is just try to go out and do your homework, you know, study film, and figure out what he's trying to do to you and what he's going to do to you and his plan. And I think, you know, as long as you have a plan, you have a better chance.
Well, so far so good. That game plan seems to have worked for Hunter so far.
Torrey told me, Jamie, when we were standing around the batting cage, his plan is going to be to get small and short, meaning he wanted to make his strike zone small and his swing very short, quick to the ball. He did that his first time up and drilled one in the seats.
Ball one outside, ball two inside. A home run for Hunter, then a pop fly that landed in the grass in right field, but Trevor Plouffe was forced at second base, 2-1. The home run for Hunter, the 338th of his career, tying him with former Twin, good friend of yours, Don Baylor. Out in front of the off-speed pitch, and it's 2-2. Hunter, Suzuki, and Escobar.
That's fun to hear. That's two really, really great guys with two really, really great careers.
Just missed the inside corner, and it's a full count. Twins would love to get Sale into the stretch position with nobody out. Struck him out with a fastball, one down. And that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki may have hit the hardest hit ball in the second inning when the Twins hit a couple of home runs, but he hit his higher and to a deeper part of the park. Hunter's left on a line, Nunez's left on a line, but a towering fly ball hit awfully well by Suzuki was knocked down by the wind a little bit and caught by Adam Eaton. Tapper to third. Gillespie for out number 2. And that'll bring up Eduardo Escobar.
This is the time of day when you're a hitter, you're walking up saying, oh man, just one little cloud, get in front of that sun. Just one little cloud while I'm standing here.
I was noticing that while Sale was warming up for the 6th. Yep. So a cloud had rolled through here and kind of diffused the lighting a little bit. Fox Tracks presented by Dodge, and it's ball 1 to Escobar. One and one. A deep drive to left, down the line, and foul. That's about where Torrey Hunter hit his fly ball in the second inning, and then on the very next pitch, Torrey straightened one out for a home run. 1-2 to Escobar. Call third strike. A 1-2-3-6 for Chris Sale. The Sanford Health injury report. Johnny Cueto with some general stiffness and soreness, isolated around the elbow area. And he will miss Sunday's start against Cleveland. Indians trying to build a little momentum after taking this series 3-1. Taking on the Reds. Brian Price ejected as he exchanged lineups before the game today. Trevor May will pitch to Jose Abreu, and delivering ball 1 to start the 6th inning. And May is 3-0 against the White Sox in 3 prior starts. He's already beaten Chris Sale once when the Twins knocked Sale out after 3 innings. And missing 2-0. Abreu, LaRoche, and Gillespie in the Chicago 6th. Breaking ball fouled back just beneath us. 2-1. Twins have been getting Abreu out on breaking balls, with the exception of the one that was left out over the plate, and he hit a rocket against the fence and left last night. A couple of short pop-ups, a couple of strikeouts on breaking balls, and then a fastball for strike 2. Still at 94 miles per hour.
Threw that ball right by him after showing a pretty good curveball. Trevor's thrown Abreu some good curveballs down in the zone, down and away.
Struck him out, 1 away.
I think everybody's really struggling to see the ball right now.
7th strikeout for Trevor May. Monday is Memorial Day and a Minnesota Twins Military Monday presented by Fox Sports North. During every Monday home game, active military members or veterans with a valid ID and up to 4 guests can receive half-price tickets in home plate views seating locations. Tickets are available at the box office on game day only. Visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on upcoming events for more details. Here's LaRoche. 1 strike. 1-1. With an infield shift on for LaRoche. Hit a long way to right. Hooking. Foul. Twins have hit a couple of balls down the left field line that have been fouled by about 10 feet. One had a lot of hook on it. 1-2. Hits are even at 5 apiece. LaRoche has a hit, a leadoff double in the 2nd. Eventually scored the first Chicago run. Twins have never trailed in the ball game. Struck him out. 2 down.
Good fastball right underneath LaRoche's hands. LaRoche, a low ball hitter, likes low fastballs. He hit a curveball, low curveball for a double. There's a pitch that absolutely tied him up. Just way late. And he did it when the sun was behind the cloud. He ought to be able to see it a little bit.
8th strikeout for May. Here in mid-September last year, Trevor May set a career high when he struck out 10 batters in the dirt. And it bounces off of Suzuki ball 1. Pitch count very good, as you can see, just 64 pitches, and he's on the cusp of completing the 6th inning here. One and one. In his last start, he got 20 outs. Longest major league outing for Trevor. 6 2/3 innings. Very strong through 6, and then a couple of runs scored against him in the 7th. Down and away, 2-1. Bouncer to the first baseman. Trevor Plouffe is there. A couple of strikeouts and a 2-hopper and a 1-2-3-6. Early scoring for the Twins.
Twins struck early with the long ball in the second inning. Torrey Hunter drilled one to left field off Chris Sale. 2 batters later, Eduardo Nunez did the same thing into left center. And then Trevor Plouffe in the third inning dropped a base hit, scoring 2 runs. It was 4-1 at that point in time. Adam Eaton with a triple made it 4-2, and he would later score, making the score 4-3, which is where we sit right now as we go to the top of the 7th.
Eduardo Nunez will lead off the 7th, see if he tries to bunt his way aboard. Strike 1. See the starter comparison. Each starter giving up 5 hits.
Very, very even. Very, very similar.
One of the Twins' runs against Sale, an unearned run because of Gillespie's error that led off the 3rd inning. Nunez with a home run and a ground ball to short. 1-1. Foul back. 1-2. I don't know what to make of it, so we'll just call it curious. The Twins have done absolutely nothing in the middle and late innings. 99.9% of their scoring has been in the first 3 innings on this road trip.
I don't know how to explain it either.
Today you've got the shadow factor. Little tapper right side. Sanchez flips to Abreu, 1 away. Since the 4th inning, Sale has gotten 10 outs from 10 batters. There was a base hit by Robinson, but he was doubled up on a ground ball by Plouffe. So from the 4th inning through the 9th inning on this road trip, the Twins are now 5 for 67, and all the hits have been singles. Here's Aaron Hicks. He has struck out twice, 1 swinging, 1 looking. 1 strike. And Hicks acts as if he wants to bunt, but takes ball 1.
Going to bunt that ball to the right side, it looked like, to push the ball by the pitcher. You want to get it bunted at the second baseman or just to the second baseman's left by the pitcher. Get it by the first baseman if you can't. Make the second baseman or the first baseman field the ball in awkward position. Beat the pitcher to the bag.
1-2. Two and 2. Sale's delivery is such that he doesn't really, he almost falls off more to the first base side than the third base side. Most lefties in their follow through would spin out toward third base, but Sale's delivery is very unique. So now inside, he ends up on the first base side of the pitcher's mound.
And you notice where he toes the rubber, it's way over on the third base side, which is not all that usual for a left-hander. And so he's already on that side and then throws back toward first.
Poked on one hop to Sanchez, 2 down. Limited 16-person suites are available on both Sunday, June 7th versus the Brewers and on Father's Day, June 21st against the Cubs. Each 16-person premier suite includes food and beverage and 2 parking passes. Kent Herbeck will stop by on June 7th, Jack Morris on June 21st, and join you for a family photo. You can call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com/groups for more info and reserve your premier suite. Here's Danny Santana, swing and a miss. Santana reached on an air. He chopped one in front of Gillespie, who threw it away. And then he struck out swinging in the 4th. Fastball over the inside corner. You can sense, I think, from the center field camera how hopeless it must be for a hitter. I mean, home plate just kind of almost disappears in darkness from the center field camera, and the hitters are standing in the darkness trying to find a ball that's very soon going to be thrown in darkness.
Yeah, and it's very brightly lit behind the pitcher, and it makes it really, really tough.
A couple of ground balls and a strikeout in a quick 1-2-3 7th inning. Presented by Toyota. The Toyota Time Sales Event ends June 1st. Hurry in today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. Twins up a run. Trevor May out there to pitch to the White Sox in the 7th inning. And he delivers strike 1 to Ramirez.
Talking about the shadows, and I always thought this was really tough. Now the pitcher is in almost completely in shadow as well. So the pitcher and hitter in shadow, the background very brightly lit.
Chopper to third, scooped up by Escobar.
Nice play, and you get a lot of weakly hit balls like we've seen the last 2 or 3 innings when it's like this. The best way I guess I can think to describe it is if you imagine taking a picture of somebody with the sun behind the subject. You know how the picture turns out, the person's in shadow and can't see any features very clearly. That's what it's like right now. It's so brightly lit. The sun is behind the pitcher in effect, and the ball comes up there, you just don't see it well because it's like that silhouette in a backlit picture.
JB shot, takes strike 1. generally you end up with a rotten picture, and what we've seen are some rotten at bats.
And some really rotten swings. I mean, really bad contact from both sides, and I don't think that's coincidental. I think it has to do with how they're seeing or not seeing the ball. See, that ball thrown right by Shuck.
In his last start, May was sailing along into the 7th, then ran into some difficulty, and was only able to get 2 of the 3 outs needed to complete the inning. He's gotten a quick out here in the 7th today, and that ball hit to Santana, and his throw off line. Shuck is one of the fastest runners in the game, and he will get another infield hit. Santana looked toward first to deliver a throw, and he saw Shuck about 15 feet from the bag.
That's exactly right. And watch him double clutch here just a little bit, and that's the extra step that Shuck needed. He catches the ball, takes a little extra step, and then tries to gun it when he realizes where Shuck is. And another part of the learning process for a young shortstop, you got to really think about every hitter that's up there. If the ball's hit to you, how fast is this guy going to be getting down the line?
Twins need to keep an eye on Shuck, and May does just that with a throw over. Shuck with 1 steal on the year. He just hasn't played enough to be on base enough to steal a lot of bases. Long hold, throw over. Two infield hits for the White Sox today, 2 of them last night. High fly to left field. Shane Robinson with the wind pushing it toward the infield, makes the catch about 50 feet behind the infield dirt. 2 down. And that'll bring up Sanchez.
Yeah, we're not through the inning yet, but so far, really, really well-pitched ball game by Trevor May, throwing a lot of curveballs, a lot of changeups. Every pitch he's got, fastball, curveball, changeup, he has thrown effectively in different counts, kept the White Sox hitters off balance. He's pitched very, very well. And he continues to pitch well.
73 pitches. He's gotten 20 outs. Here's Sanchez, the number 9 batter, and Shuck again checked at first base. 38,714 the paid. They came to pay tribute to Paul Konerko, whose number 14 was retired in a pregame ceremony. Very reason that the White Sox have a base runner aboard. Shuck's speed got him the infield hit. Makes him a threat from first base.
Yeah, I think with 2 out, pretty reasonable chance he might go also.
Not on this pitch, and it's taken for strike 1. Sanchez hit by a pitch. He scored in the 3rd. Then he struck out swinging in the 5th. Dirt. Mays tried to quicken things up to the plate. You can see a slide step there, making it more difficult for a base stealer to steal a base.
Yeah, he's done a nice job of attempting to hold guys on. He's held the ball a long time to vary his movement to the plate. He's quickened up a little bit. He's thrown over there.
The left field corner and foul. Guy who was you never faced, and he's retired now. He's a borderline Hall of Fame guy. Mike Messina, they always said, was one of the best pitchers at holding runners, yet he very rarely ever threw the first. There are other means that you can use as a pitcher to shut down a running game.
Yeah, the most important thing is not to be consistently the same with the come set and go to the plate. So just like Trevor's doing, holding the ball a long time, going to the plate quickly after coming set another time.
1-2 to Carlos Sanchez. 2-2. And I'm surprised that Chuck hasn't at least tried to steal at this point. We're 4 pitches into this at bat with 2 outs. And it may, at least at this point, shutting down the base stealing threat at first. Chop foul. The bat still alive. Ryan Tresley, Aaron Thompson warming up. Pitch count still really good for Trevor May. It's a 1-run ball game. Lifted foul over the tarp and out of play. Twins' inability to add runs after a quick start cost them the ball game last night. Nearly cost them the second game in Pittsburgh. And so far they're hanging on by their fingernails with a 1-run lead here in the 7th.
Everybody.
2-2 to Sanchez. Struck him out. 7 strong innings for Trevor May. First time in his big league career he's completed 7. Braun picking up the pace for the Brewers a little bit. Watch out for the Indians. They got Corey Kluber and Danny Salazar fronting their rotation now. And the Indians still have a ways to go to get to 500. They started the day 5 games back. But with those 2 guys going the way they're going, you can make up a lot of ground in a hurry.
Boy, you're not kidding. Torrey Hunter was talking about the 1-2 punch of Samardzija and Sale back-to-back. There's no picnicking Kluber and Salazar if you're a hitter, that's for sure.
1 strike to Brian Dozier leading off the 8th against Chris Sale. A check swing 1-1. Dozier with another extra base hit. He's hit 3 home runs against Chris Sale. It was a double in the 3rd inning. And the Twins ended up scoring a couple of runs at one point, had a 4-1 lead, and now it's 4-3. 1-1. On 1 hop, well, 2 hops to Ramirez. And across to Abreu, one away. We'll bring up Shane Robinson. Robinson punched a base hit to right field. His last time up. It's the only hit the Twins have had since the 3rd inning. He's had some activity in the bullpen, but no one's throwing there now, suggesting that maybe Trevor May will come out for the 8th inning. Why not? Red Sox don't seem comfortable up there. The hits, many of them that they've gotten, haven't been made with solid contact.
No, the only ball that was hit really hard was Eaton's triple down the right field line.
0-2.
He's got a low pitch count, and managers and pitching coaches will watch as much as hits. They'll watch outs. So just watch how hard the ball's being hit, even on outs. Don't get the sense that they're hitting the ball hard off of Trevor May at all.
Ball hit pretty well to center, but within range of Eaton. 2 down. And before Trevor Blue stands in honor of Memorial Day weekend, Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who've been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com.
Twins need a quick ambush of Chris Sale here. A couple of extra base hits or an extra base hit and a single. 2 good at bats. Get a run.
How about one really good one?
Yep.
1-0 to Trevor Plouffe. Popped up near the Twins dugout, out of play, 1-1. Twins are 14-15 within the division, thanks primarily to the tough time they've had with the Tigers, winning just 2 times and losing 7. 1-1 to Plouffe. 2-1. If the score holds, if the Twins win this game, they'll be 14-5 against left-handed starters. And they'll face another one tomorrow. Jose Quintana. Sale hasn't walked anyone, just the 4th 3-ball count he's had this afternoon.
Trevor will be looking for a fastball that he can drive right here. May not get it, but he should be looking for it. Got a change up. And he wouldn't normally swing at that pitch. Excuse me, were it not for the shadow.
3-2. And fought off, foul. Full count to Plouffe.
Good battle here by Trevor with 2 strikes, 3-2 count with a really good pitcher. The problem with a guy like Sale is that he can throw any of 3 pitches with 3-2. He's not afraid to throw any of them. So you have to be ready for anything. It's not a fastball count anymore, and they're quality pitches that he's throwing up there.
Blasted to left field toward the corner. And Cabrera chasing it, but it's foul. Hit it off the end of the bat. That ball had a little more oomph behind it. Three and 2. 9th pitch of this at bat. 111th of the game. First walk issued by Sale, and that will get Torrey Hunter to the plate.
Very nice at bat there by Trevor. He never really got a great pitch to hit. Sale was all around the perimeters of the strike zone. He got one fastball kind of in the middle, but it was low. Trevor fouled that one back. Bet he would like to have had that one back, but that's really the only pitch that wasn't a pretty nasty pitch to him. Good at bat to draw that walk.
Hunter, a home run to start the scoring, leading off the 2nd inning. Outside ball 1. Just missed a home run on the prior pitch.
He did, and then had a real quick stroke to get the big end of the bat out to that fastball and just drill it in the left field seats.
Popped up right field. Shot. Ends it to the bottom of the 8th in a 1-run game. Some early runs to the Twins, and now the Twins bullpen will try to protect a 1-run lead. Left-hander Aaron Thompson will face Adam Eaton to start the 8th. First pitch punch to center, and Hicks racing back. A catch in the gap. Aaron Hicks did it again.
How about this kid?
A drive to right center field, and Hicks with another dive at the end of a great catch.
And another perfect route to the ball. Went right to where he had to make his dive immediately. He got a great jump, running full out. And again, Dick, to your point, that wasn't a dive for any other reason than he had to. That wasn't a dive for show. That was, look at Aaron Thompson. How about this guy? What a great play.
Made a great catch 180 degrees in the opposite direction last night. One down, and here's Cabrera, really struggling as a right-handed batter this year.
I was just going to say, manager Paul Molitor, before Eaton hit the first pitch and Hicks made that great catch in right center field, I was going to say that Paul Molitor bringing in the left-hander Aaron Thompson to pitch to left-hander Eaton and move Melky Cabrera over to the right side of the plate where he's hitting less than 100, I think.
3 hits in 37 at-bats. The hits have been singles. Now, there have only been 3 strikeouts, so he's made contact, but he hasn't picked up many hits at all from this side of the plate. 1-1, another right-handed batter, Abreu, on deck.
And then the left-hander, LaRoche. So 3 out of the 4 hitters susceptible to the left-hander. As we look at this play, this is a perfectly timed dive. And that was at the end of a long run. He went a long way for that ball, playing on the left field side of center field against the left-hand hitting Adam Eaton.
Chopper towards second. Dozier backpedals from the outfield grass, 2 down. And now Abreu with the bases empty, and we'll see whether the Twins make a move. Molitor will come out, get the ball from Thompson, and hand it to Boyer. Thompson got both a lefty and a righty out. In last night's game, he got the lefty out and walked the righty, and it ended up helping cost the Twins the go-ahead run. So Thompson gets 2 outs. Boyer will be asked to get the final out of the 8th in a 1-run game. Question: the 5 White Sox players with over 2,000 hits. Nellie Fox should be on that list.
Big Hurt, Frank Thomas,
Robin Ventura,
Harold
maybe.
Baines.
Yeah.
No Harold Baines. I was going to say Eddie Collins. Look, it's by 7 hits, but I'm surprised Harold didn't get 2,000.
Well, we got most of the names. We'll take 2 or 3 carryovers to the next trivia question. Here's Boyer to face Jose Abreu. First pitch over for a strike. Fox strikes presented by Carrier. Boyer making his first appearance since he gave up a game-tying home run to Andrew McCutchen. That was in the second game at Pittsburgh. Twins ended up winning that game on a home run by Joe Mauer in the 13th. Hit right to the first baseman, Plouffe. Boyer gets the 3rd out of the 8th inning. And we head to the 9th with the Twins up a run. White Sox honoring Paul Konerko, retiring his number 14, and the Twins are trying to spoil the party. They're leading 4-3 as we go to the 9th inning. Finally, Chris Sale is out of the ball game, and Minnesota native Jake Petrichka will relieve him here in the 9th inning.
Petrichka spent a little bit of time last year as a part of the closer experiment. Now he's been a lot of the 7-8 inning guy ahead of David Robertson. Twins could use one more quick run. Talking about an ambush last inning, that just a quick one-run ambush would be really good.
Petrichka had a rough outing at Target Field in that 4-game series. Included in that a double by Kurt Suzuki. It'll be Suzuki, Escobar, and Nunez. At least those are the scheduled batters. Up high. Twins have just a 3-man bench. Mauer is listed as a bench player today, and remember, he's not catching anymore. He's not going to not be used because he's the only remaining catcher on the roster. Inside, so we might see Mauer hitting here, perhaps in the DH spot for Nunez, if the Twins can put a scoring threat together. Batting gloves are on.
Yep.
2-0 to Suzuki. That's to right. Shuck comes in. He'll play it on a hop, and the leadoff man is on. So we'll see how this plays out now with Escobar in a possible bunting situation. Escobar has struck out twice and tapped to short. And Mauer's just left the railing, grabbed the bat, and left the dugout.
Yeah, he's getting loose back underneath a little bit, getting ready to come out in the on-deck circle. This would be a bunting situation, I would think, for Escobar. Here comes Joe to the on-deck circle, and then pretty good chance they either walk Joe or bring in a left-hander to pitch to him.
Gillespie at third, well in on the grass, and Escobar squares and drops it in front of him. And the sacrifice completed on one pitch. Escobar advances Suzuki to second base. And Mauer will come to the plate, and we'll see if the White Sox bring in a left-hander or simply intentionally walk him.
Yeah, I don't see Robin Ventura having Petrichka pitch to Joe. But we'll see how he plays it.
The only run the Twins have scored after the 4th inning on this road trip came on Mauer's 13th inning home run in Pittsburgh. In this pinch hitting appearance, he likely will just simply fill first base.
Yep.
Mauer will be intentionally walked, and there'll be 2 men aboard for Aaron Hicks. Will go to first. Suzuki's at second, and Hicks looking for his first hit of the series. 2 strikeouts and a ground out today as a right-handed batter against Chris Sale.
Paul Molitor pretty much knew as the inning was set up, as soon as Suzuki got a base hit, he knew he was going to bunt Eduardo Escobar and send Joe Mauer up there to get potentially walked. Pretty much fully expecting that, but got to get the runner, an extra runner to second base, and at the bottom of the order try to drive it in. He had to give it a shot. Get that guy to second.
Hicks takes a belt high strike. 2 switch hitters due up next. Hicks in the batter's box now, and then Danny Santana. Fouled away, 2 strikes. For 3 today, and you saw the batting average. Hicks down to 222, but all would be forgiven if he can deliver a big hit here. Made 2 sensational catches. He made a 3rd catch early in the ball game that would have been extraordinary. Double play grounder. And Glenn Perkins will have a 1-run lead to work with in the bottom of the ninth. Glenn Perkins leading the major leagues with 15 saves. In save situations, he has been perfect this year. 15 for 15. He'll face 2 lefties. Actually, he'll face just 1 lefty. It's LaRoche. Then Beckham's in the on-deck circle. And then Alexei Ramirez. Avisail Garcia scratched from the lineup last night. Not in the lineup today because of right knee soreness. Might not even be available. Strike 1 to LaRoche.
And frankly, the White Sox lineup is a different looking lineup without Garcia in there. He's really have a nice start. Dangerous hitter.
To left and deep. Robinson on the edge of the track. 1 down. Time now for What's Next, brought to you by CenturyLink. Twins hoping that they can win here tonight and go for the series win tomorrow. Kyle Gibson will go against Jose Quintana. Gordon Beckham will bat for Connor Gillespie. Beckham 6 for 18 in his matchups against Glenn Perkins. Breaking ball over, strike 1.
Nice pitch right there. Great pitch to start a pinch hitter off with. Pinch hitters come up off the bench. I learned this from Randy Bush, among others. Come off the bench swinging the bat. You might get the best pitch on the first pitch that you'll see the whole at bat. There's no sense in waiting. And Beckham, pretty good fastball hitter. Hits left-handers pretty well. No doubt he was looking for a fastball that first pitch, and Kirk dropped a nice slider in there.
1-1. Half swing, 1-2.
Cheating on a fastball. Can't see the ball real well right now. Way out in front of another slider.
One and 2 to Gordon Beckham. Got him, 2 down. Perkins disposes of the pinch hitter on 3 pitches. And that'll leave it to Alexei Ramirez.
Well, he had that bad swing at the slider in his mind and with 2 strikes. So he's protecting against that, and then he was just absolute toast on the fastball. No chance.
Say Ramirez 8 for 31 against Perkins, but Perkins has retired him 9 times in a row. Strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, I really like that pitch to Ramirez too. I've been talking for 2 games now about this guy being a first ball fastball and second and third and fourth ball fastball hitter. He loves the fastball. That's what he wants.
Swings over the slider, 0-2. Two strikes to Ramirez. Got him! A foul tip, I beg your pardon. Fouled it into the dirt. The at-bat in the game. Still very much alive.
Just barely got a piece of that. I thought he got him too. Just barely with a piece.
Another 0-2 pitch. To short center. Dozier out. Can't make the play. A flared single to center. J.B. Shutt due up. Dozier looked at the ball, then looked to Hicks, who was in no doubles defense, playing a deep center field.
Ramirez pops up the breaking ball. Dozier going out. Missed the route just a little bit and then landed pretty hard on his elbow.
Strike on the outside corner. Shuck has had just 2 at-bats against Perkins. One and one. Half swing, but strike 2. Doesn't want the count to go 3-2, so Ramirez can leave early from first. 2-2 to J.B. Shuck. And a foul to the screen. Perkins left one up, and Shuck took a good pass at it.
Yeah, that's one of the better swings we've seen in the shadows here since the shadows took over. Wouldn't be surprised to see a breaking ball here.
Keep Ramirez honest. Ramirez goes, and it's ball 3. So the tying run now in scoring position. Shuck, who had 2 hits and drove in the go-ahead run late in the game last night, is up in an even bigger spot here now. Ball 4. And Tyler Flowers will come up. Perkins had, 2 strike pitches with Ramirez up there, a couple of 2-strike pitches with Shuck. And that
foul ball into the dirt that looked like it was strike 3, and that kept the game alive. And now look where the White Sox are at.
Just couldn't quite put him away. He popped up Ramirez by all rights. Could have been the third out of the inning. Just hit the perfect spot, and then he had a hard time finishing Shuckoff right there.
Flowers 1 for 7 with 4 strikeouts against Perkins. Tapped foul, got him out in front of a breaking ball. 1 strike. Strike 2. Speed on the bases for the White Sox. 0-2 to Flowers. This is his 8th 2-out, 2-strike pitch of this inning.
Back foot slider right here will get it.
Got him!
Fastball in the inside corner.
Burned the inside corner. And the Twins even the series at a game apiece. And there wasn't any way I thought this game was going to end 4-3 back in the 3rd inning.
This was a classic case of who can get the lead first once the who can have the lead when the shadows hit. Last pitch burned, as you said, burned the inside corner.